If you're somebody like me and you struggle with trusting yourself, anxiety, like chronic anxiety, perfectionism, doubt, procrastination, running late all the time, or just these chronic patterns that you have in yourself or you may see in your family, if you feel disorganized, overwhelmed, inconsistent, you struggle with manifestation and it just never really works for you, if you feel like there's something inside of you, internally or externally, that is controlling your destiny or holding you back, this is for you. I mentioned this a little bit in my first video back about how nervous system regulation has been a game changer for me this year. I'm going to tell you the story about the discovery I had this year about the nervous system. This is going to be like a little intro, part 1, and then I'll do a part 2 on like how I've actually been implementing nervous system techniques. The reason why this is so important is because nervous system work helps with everything. It's like the foundation of being a human being. So it's not just it helps with manifesting or just with your mental health or emotional health. Dr. Andrew Huberman, the neuroscientist, he talks about how the nervous system is the one thing that makes everything else better. And it's so true. I can say just from firsthand experience. And it's something that's not talked about enough. I remember hearing like 11 years ago, the subconscious lives in the body, or the subconscious is the body. And like shortly after, I remember really getting into the personal development stuff and like doing the meditation, like daily, really doing all of that work. I don't know if I fully understood like all of it at that time. I think over time I got more and more in my head. I would gravitate more towards being heady and more disconnected from my body, especially with having like anxiety and OCD. The problem with the self-help world is that a lot of it emphasizes mindset and change your beliefs and change your reality. And what I've realized with this nervous system work is that most of it is actually body to brain and not brain to body. So this idea that we're just supposed to change our thoughts and then everything will work out. It doesn't work that way. It usually works the other way. Sometimes you just need like a perspective shift. But especially when we're talking about healing or rewiring our subconscious or changing those chronic patterns, it requires nervous system work. Or nervous system work can make it all that much easier to do in addition to whatever else you're doing. Another problem with the personal development world, the emphasis is on doing and action and strategy. And that's not the issue. I'm going to come back to this. When some people do talk about manifesting and they say you attract what you are, changing your beliefs and how you have to be that thing before you get it, no one ever really breaks down exactly what you're supposed to be doing like day in and day out in order to be that thing and to attract what you want. I've heard so many videos on manifestation and stuff and it's never clear. I finally have gained clarity around what I'm supposed to be doing day to day in order to become my highest self. So on the spring equinox of this year, 2025, I found the most amazing woman on YouTube. Her name is Kate Northrup, and she is an entrepreneur who teaches people about the connection between the nervous system and money. Rumi says, what you seek is seeking you. And that information of hers came to me at such divine timing because I was really seeking that information. It was a huge missing piece that I needed. And it was honestly life-changing. I'm not even being dramatic when I say that. I took this free workshop that she offers every year called Good with Money. And it was so transformational. She has a podcast called Plenty. You can learn so much from there. I'll link it in the description. And then also I just learned so much from her workshop as well. One of the things that she really hammers home is like our nervous system is not logical. It is emotional. I mean, I kind of already knew that part, but she talks about it in much more deeper ways. The reason why we can want perfect health, a successful career, the house, the job, whatever it is, you can fill in the blank, and then turn around and behave in a way that opposes that, right? Like, why is it that our desires doesn't match up to our actions? The reason for this is because our unconscious or subconscious runs the show, not our conscious mind. I want to read you a quote from one of her podcast episodes. Like I said, she talks about it in terms of money, but this also relates to any aspect of your life, honestly. She says, if you grew up in a household that actually had relative abundance, maybe you were upper middle class, but the story that your parents or your caregivers were telling, the energy around it was that it was never enough, your nervous system set point is around creating a reality where there's never quite enough. How does our nervous system do that? It does it by default. It does it through automatic, unconscious behavior that this part really hit me. That recreates the feeling that we experienced in our childhood, the feeling in which our nervous system developed. The energetic and emotional soup that our nervous system developed in will be the set point that we will return to unconsciously, because according to our nervous system, that which is unfamiliar is unsafe. And our nervous system is designed to keep us alive. That's the quote. I just wanted to read it exactly how she said it because that really stuck with me. I've read that so many more times. Like I said, I don't feel like people talk about this enough. Kate is the only person who emphasizes the nervous system enough, at least out of the people I've heard. And she says it in the most clearest, straightforward way possible. I would say Joe Dispenza is the only other person. So, nervous system 101, right? There is the central nervous system, which is your brain and spinal cord. And then there is the peripheral nervous system, which is the nerves all throughout your body. So your nervous system is essentially all the nerves throughout your body that communicate through electrical signals. The vagus nerve is the main nerve of your parasympathetic nervous system. So we have the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. Parasympathetic is all about rest and digest. Your sympathetic nervous system is what people know as like fight or flight. But there's also other ways in which our nervous system can respond to threat, which is fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. That's just the gist of it. The vagus nerve sends information between your brain, heart, and your digestive system, as well as other functions too. It even has a role in your immune response. So it's really significant. Joe Dispenza talks about heart coherence a lot, and this is how it kind of ties in. One of the things that Kate talks about is how 80% of the communication is from body to brain, and only 20% is from brain to body, which is why we need to be working bottom up instead of top down. I actually did find an article called Pain, Is It All in the Brain or the Heart? It does say that the vagus nerve, which is 80% afferent, meaning it goes towards the brain, carries information from the heart and other internal organs to the brain. So there's a lot there to say about like the heart. There's like ways you can improve your vagal tone. You can get more deep into the vagus nerve. But this is what people mean when they say everything is energy, everything is frequency, everything is vibration, because our bodies literally communicate via electrical signals and we emit electrical frequencies. It's all connected. The body, our thoughts, our emotions, our behaviors, all of that. One of the things that really stuck with me that Kate talks about is the connection between our nervous system and our emotions and our behaviors and our reality. There's like a circle that she draws, and essentially it starts with sensations in our body, right? We then label them with some sort of emotion, right? So our heart is palpitating and we think anxiety, I'm scared, right? Those emotions then lead to thoughts. Those thoughts then lead to our behavior, and our behavior leads to our reality, essentially. And then your reality reinforces how you feel. It's like this feedback loop, right? It's really that straightforward, but just understanding that is huge, because then you realize that to get to the root of our behaviors, our emotions, our reality, all of that is to really get into our body and deal with regulating how our body feels. Meditating regularly and regulating my body consistently just the last few months has changed everything. When you signal safety in your body, you automatically feel and do the aligned actions, right? The things that are aligned with your intuition, your gut, your heart, right? All the things that connect the vagus nerve. It's like you just automatically know the right next step when you are more aligned and more regulated and feel safe. It's all about the body feeling safe. I just wanted to say one mantra that Kate talks about that I just say every day to myself because it's so good, which is be, do, have. It's really all you need to know, honestly. Be means regulate, right? Signal safety, do. Then take the action, right? What's the next right step? What's the strategy? And then you can have your reality, the thing you want, right? I also wanted to say that being in your body can feel unsafe for a lot of people, especially if you're a trauma survivor. So definitely go slow and get professional guidance if needed. So that's what I wanted to share today. In part 2, I think I'll go over like more in depth about the nervous system regulation tools that I use and how I implement them. Everything I talked about, like all the links will be in the description. And yeah, thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.